So we are at our airport, and it looks like we have plenty of spaces parking. Welcome to Minneapolis Airport. Look at this VIP parking, literally right next to the gate. You pretty much go in, and very few cars, very few. I'm not complaining. This is depressing. Today we're in Tyler, Texas, visiting a roofing company. They're doing just fine during pandemic times where everybody seems struggling business-wise, but this company, despite the fact that they don't spend much money on the traditional form of marketing, have plenty of leads, plenty of jobs, and we're gonna show you how they do it. We could not even fly here, so we have to get a rental car to show one good roofing business and their practices and share it with our community. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm well.
So let's start with the COVID-19. I see you have people working around those essentials.
Yeah. We don't have very many people in here. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody who can work from home, they work from home?
Everybody who can work from home is working from home. Yeah. Yeah. So we like to shoot each other around here.
That's a good business practice with employees.
Yeah. Well, you know, when this guy has been waiting for the report for 3 hours, it was supposed to be there in the morning. He just unloads on him and lets him know how he feels. So when I was originally designing the space, I met with an architect, and I really wanted to create a space that people would want to be in. You know, I didn't want our workplace to be a place that people couldn't wait to leave. And so, especially when this was more open, before we had to adapt to all this new space, people would hang out here in the evenings, they'd hang out here on the weekends, they'd have their kids' birthday parties here, they'd have, you know, fight nights and basketball game watching, you know, whatever, because it's a cool enough space that people want to be here. So I put time and attention and money into making it a place where it would make you feel good while you were here. You know, over here, this is our insurance department. My supplementers and filers, case managers and stuff are in here. My business development.
What's your break between supplements and how many claims you do? How many residential retail when people pay out of pocket?
Retail, we're probably 5%.
5%. So
Yeah.
95 is insurance claims.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
How many people you have supplementing?
2.
2 people. Okay.
Yeah, and they're full time, but they've been able to keep up with the flow last
What's
year.
your average increase? Like, I know industry standard is about 30%.
Yeah, that to me seems like maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but I mean, I'm sure some people get that. For us, it's 8 to 10%.
8 to 10%
Yeah.
across the board.
Across the board when you average everything, but we have plenty of roofs that are.
So if you do 30 million, it'll be about 2-3 million amount in supplementing.
Yeah. But we have the majority of our claims are roof only claims.
I see.
They're not multiple trades. They're not doing all the.
So you're not
windows
doing
and screens.
O&P?
Right.
Just
Right.
mainly items missed.
Sure. I mean, we'd love to get it, but
Sure.
you know, there's no magic silver bullet like everyone
Of
wants
course.
to sell you.
Everybody says, like, you know.
I get it every time. No, you don't. You get it every time that you had all the trades that you had the adjuster agreed. That yeah, sure, you got that every time, but you're not going to get it on every job. It just ain't going to happen.
So you're calling out all the marketing promises for O&P companies? I get it. I got it. I got it.
Well, like you just got to be realistic. I think. You know, if you're going to help.
And you have to
people-
be fair. And I think it's how much you're willing to wait and fight for it.
Oh,
I think
totally.
if you fight long enough, if you
Yeah.
have 1 year to close every claim, you
Right.
probably can get it.
Well, and if you want to take every job to appraisal, you'll probably get O&P on the jobs you take to appraisal, but then all the adjusters will start hating you. You'll get blacklisted by everybody.
Yep.
It's just like,
It just ruins relationship,
Oh, totally.
ruins network, ruins everything.
And
I
that's-
agree with you.
and that's the reason our supplement department is not pulling 15 or 20%, is because we got a whole slew of adjusters we just don't even supplement because they give us so much work.
So you do get you use adjusters as a lead gen too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we treat them right and we help them do their job and we don't fight over stuff that's ridiculous, then they start to trust us. Yeah, then they're like, oh my God, I would much rather you have the job than these guys over here. They're going to fight for a year, and I'm going to have to go to court and get in a deposition. And no, of course they don't want that experience. So if you want to be adversarial with the insurance companies, it is a legitimate strategy.
Sure.
You can do it and make more money. I just have no desire to be a part of something that negative, that long term, over and over and over again.
So you're just thinking about wholesale mentality, cheaper, bigger, faster turnaround versus more money per claim, but
yeah,
with
I
more
actually
headache.
just want a better experience for each customer and for my guys that are handling that job. So when you get into those long-term fights, your customers usually aren't happy about that. It takes forever.
But the argument is what's right, because if you see the insurance is denying what's supposed to be paid, like if it's legit item,
but
and
that's
they
a
don't want
different
to do
scenario. That's different than supplementing. I will help customers get a roof when they're getting raked over by the carrier.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if they get a roof, that's all they care about. They don't care whether I got $250 a square, $275 a square. They don't care. I'm not going to let a customer just get, screwed over. But once the roofs that we get in, the vast majority of roofs that we get into the system, I'm not going to fight to get them, another 10% increased and drag it out for 3 months and have the customer write letters and get phone calls and then hear from the adjuster about how terrible we are. And that's just a really negative experience for everybody.
No, I love the mentality, that's for sure. Like
I get there's more money in it, but
it's awakening. It's different.
I'm
Not many roofers think like this. How do you do appointments? You do virtual? Like, do you meet the homeowners?
Yeah, right now it's all virtual. Yeah. Well, we'll go to the site to do a physical inspection, but then everything after that is all virtual if they want. Most people are actually still pretty fine with talking at the front door or coming inside. But we have the capability to do it all virtual, and I would say there's a good percentage of people that are getting the total virtual experience, but. The average customer, I think, is still fine with, contact, but just maybe limited in some way. But yeah, we've adjusted to doing all that and still adjusting. And we're going to get better. I mean, we're taking some of that forward with us so that we could be able to do that as much as people want, because I think, even if the virus just kind of petered out tomorrow, which I don't think it's going to, but even if it did, people in the marketplace are still going to be sensitive for 3 to 6 months, I bet, of how certain people in the market are going to want more distance. They're going to be a little bit more leery and stuff.
Careful.
So yeah. And since I think the virus is probably going to be in the news for the next 12 to 18 months, there's going to be daily counts. It's going to go up and down. There's going to be a new hotspot in San Francisco, and then a month later it'll be Denver. And
you know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping something else will happen when everybody will forget about this and jump on something else. That's usually what happens. It's like the best case scenario. We have one, like Trump will cheat on his wife or something, and everybody will talk about that.
That's already happened. You missed that window, bro. That's already happened.
I mean, media, they just need a topic. If something bigger happens, now...
I agree. That would help, but I think that people who are genuinely concerned about it are going to have a long period. They're going to be able to be concerned. It's not going to go away right away.
First, show us the office.
Okay,
what do we have here?
This is our finance area over here, which we only have one person in here today, and right now, regularly, we're only having 2.
So it's accounts payable, receivable?
Accounts payable, receivable. Yep, that's what they... So we have
usually it's somewhere in the back, not at the front. It's a back office that deals with the money, not the front. You put it right here.
Well, to be fair, when we designed the space, this was our showroom area.
Okay.
So we outgrew our space very quick. I thought we would have like a 2-year, 3-year growth trajectory inside this building, and we were full in 6 months.
So when you started, what was the sales or project?
When we moved into this building,
you were doing how much?
Let's see, I'm trying to remember the exact timing. The calendar year that we landed in here in like March, and in that calendar year, we did $5 million.
Okay.
And
now you're doing out of this office?
This year we'll do 35. So sorry. I have to adjust for COVID. I would say we're probably going to drop down 5 or 10 million lower than what we thought.
So like 25, 27?
Yeah. Our base minimum that we're really trying to make sure we get is 20, but I think we're doing projections every week. I think we're going to hit that okay. I'm hoping we can pull up closer to 30, but we're definitely going to have some drop in there. There's no doubt.
Okay.
So
what's next?
So here we have some, just kind of social space for people to hang out, have informal meetings, sit down and share lunches.
Where's your office?
I don't have an office.
So you don't have a place here? So if you come here, you like work in the couch?
I'm always with someone doing something. I'm never really sitting around by myself. So When it wasn't as full, my office wasn't there, but I gave up my office for my commercial sales director and my director of sales on the residential side.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Looks like we're not allowed there. Entry not allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but we'll pop by there. Then we have our, we call them phone people, lead people. They do a lot more than just a receptionist would do.
Schedule appointments, follow-ups.
Yeah, well, and the biggest thing is when they answer the phone, they verify the lead. There's a long list of questions they ask to figure out who it needs to go to and what needs to happen with this lead. Then they also track the lead. So they're following up to make sure that the person got the call back and the appointment that they were supposed to get. And they do it because the sales managers, it would end up just being too much to do for the sales manager. And I want to make sure that we treat every lead like gold. You know, I don't want to waste any lead that comes in here. And so that's their main job, is to take the leads,
So they have two people doing all of that work?
Yeah, and then they assign the leads out, and then they track over the next, until the lead dies. I want to know every lead that came in, I want to know what happened to it, till it's dead. Whether we lost it to competition, whether we lost it because we didn't follow up, whether we sold it, whether it wasn't, whether it went to an adjusters meeting and then got denied or whatever, I track it all. I want to
and
know
you
all
do
that
all of that in the CRM?
They actually do that, I think, on a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't found any CRM that does everything that we need it to do. So we have lots of workarounds and spreadsheets that we still
You
use.
can do in the CRM. You can do a lot with the leads. Like we have a whole bunch of buckets in the CRM, like in the Japanese, how lost, not lost, follow up. Like we have like 8 different buckets.
Well,
and
for
we just
them, they
move
have to track the lead 24 hours, 48 hours, 7 days.
Sure.
They have to send a message, either text or in the CRM, and then make a phone call to the. There's a lot of steps of it, and so it would be, I think, just.
I see.
We're just doing more than what any CRM probably, at least that we've seen now, does. We could probably build it to do all that, but it takes 10 minutes to make a spreadsheet for it. So.
Sure.
So that's where we end up. This is my commercial division director, Alex.
What's that?
Vance, our sales manager, and then that's Jake's desk. He's the sales director for residential. So that was my office. That was my private bathroom back there. I gave that up too.
Private bathroom.
I'm just kidding. It wasn't really, but that's the original magnet, the original logo that was on the company, which is not a logo. It's just, I
I
don't
like
know.
that one so much better.
Yeah.
What do you think about your name? How much name contributes to the success of the business?
I think it certainly can. I think in our case, it's probably not.
I mean, I like it. It's very unique, authentic. It's
Right.
memorable. It's
Well,
easy
there's
to
only one other company with that name in the history of United States business.
AVCO.
Yeah. That company does still operate, but it's like an aerospace company that is very niche that most people would never have heard of.
I like it.
It's actually an accident. The original owner, Donnie Parkinson, his best friend was Wally.
It's about to take off.
Yeah, he is Wally Abernathy, and Donnie was a car salesman, a tombstone salesman. I mean, just a dyed-in-the-wool salesman of everything, right? Yeah, and they sold your tombstones pre-need. Before you needed them, you could buy one now at a big discount, and we'll save it for you until you need it.
This is just sales.
Yeah, he was a great guy. So,
It's a slogan, I'm counting on you dying.
yeah, and so then Donnie's best friend Donnie had been saving up money in a pickle jar for years. Just big giant pickle jar. He'd shove all of his extra money in there, and he said he was going to start his own company when the pickle jar got full. Well, when it got full, he was all excited, pulled out. I didn't have quite enough money, so Wally gave him some more money to help him start this company.
What year was that? When is it?
2007.
Okay.
So then Donnie, paying homage to Wally, wanted to name the company AVCO because he was Abernathy. But the lawyer over the phone, when he told him what the name of the company, the lawyer heard AVCO and filed all the papers and everything under AVCO. And so, but Donnie didn't know it. And so Donnie had all his shirts made and the signs and everything all said AVCO. And then like 6 months into the business, somebody at the bank was like, I mean, we're cashing these checks for you, but your business name is AVCO, right? It's not AVCO. And Donnie was like, what? And it was he ended up just changing it all and going with AVCO. So it's AVCO, but it was supposed to be AVCO. So.
Love it. I was curious what the heck it means.
Yeah, I didn't pick it. Yeah, we have had So many Nerf fights in here. Like the whole place will end up just totally covered in all
Really?
those balls and darts. Oh yeah, we'll like it'll interrupt the day for like half an hour, and everyone's just shooting each other. It's super fun. But we also have traditions. So if you work here, the first time that you bring your kids in here, your kids all get to shoot you. So we load them up with like the biggest gun. It has like 100 bullets in it, and all your kids line up and they just get to just blast you. And so that's the first time you bring your kids in, and that's a tradition we've followed since very early on. So.
But my kids would love it. My kids would destroy me.
Dude, it's like kids' favorite memories for like that whole year. It's just the time they got to like blast their
I'm gonna
parent.
steal it from you. I'm gonna go invest some guns. And
Yeah.
I have cars in my office, so we have a big wall of pretty decent sizes, scale 1 to 24.
Yeah.
All the famous movie like Batman mobiles and all
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I have huge rack, even with little people in it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the famous movie cars,
right,
and
yeah,
kids
yeah.
come in always like, and it's a conversation piece. Everybody
yeah.
who comes in the office, I'm like, "What's your favorite car? What would you pick?" And there's like Lambos, you know.
Yeah, sure. That's
And-
cool.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, I'm excited to get into our new space. Our new space is like 4 times the size. It's much bigger in the main office, and then there's lots of.
When are you moving there?
About 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, we should be in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we have way outgrown this space.
Is it under remodel now, or what's happening?
No, the current tenants, I'm just waiting for them to get out. I bought it. The people that currently had it sold it to me, and then they took that money and they built their next place, but that's been delayed a little bit.
I see.
So as soon as they get out, I'll move in, and then we're going to remodel it as we go. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's much bigger, much bigger. So then, I think that's probably enough. I'll show you the tour. I don't think you need to roll back here. It's really dirty. It's
It's
really,
okay. It is what it is. It's business.
yeah, sure.
I like it. Show it how it is.
So
This is my favorite part, actually. Warehouse. I love warehouse.
this was the original warehouse. This is all we had when we rented that space and this. But within a few months, we grew to where we had to rent this other half over here. So. We pulled this out the other day. This is one of our original scheduling boards from like 4 years ago. Yeah, back when these were hanging up on the wall in there, and people would go up there. Everybody would line up and take turns and fight over the days they wanted to install their jobs. Yeah, we just pulled this out the other day for nostalgia. The original scheduling boards. We had 4 of these, and they were on frames that rolled around, and so we would spin around and write on all the sides. But and to see original sales teams' names, and we all had different colors. And so on Tuesdays when we have our meeting, based on whoever sold the week before, you got to be first in line, and everybody would literally line up single file, and the first person got to pick the day that they wanted to install. So you earned the right to pick your days by being the better sales guy or whatever. And so
Wow.
if you were at the end of the line, you just had to pick whatever days were left after other guys went.
Love it.
Yeah.
Incentives.
Yeah. Well, it'd get pretty nasty. They'd be like yelling at each other, and then they'd have to resort to bartering, try to barter with each other.
What's all of this?
This is where we do all our custom metal.
Oh, custom metal.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so this is where we break all of our own flashings. We have very few flashings that we ever outsource now. You know, some maybe like really, really complicated ones or something, but
So
I
you
don't know
do,
that
you
we've
do
done-
like chimney crickets here?
Yep. Yep.
Love it. You're a real roofing company.
Well, trying. Trying. But yeah, see, there's some custom collector heads up there. Like those took some real work to build those.
Yeah, I see
You know?
that.
So
Some commercial jobs.
yeah, we have another warehouse back over here. That is, the floor is full of all the custom flashings because we make so many we can't store them in here. They make them in here and they have to store them back there. This was all warehouse, but we grew so much we had to remodel this into our. This is our conference room, meeting room, sales room. It's a little bit janky, but we've been trying to move into our new building for like 9 months now. So this was supposed to just be temporary, but they've been in here about, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something. But
How many vehicles do you have?
over 20. I don't know exactly. 24, 25.
Can we go outside?
Knock knock.
Or what is this?
Say hi.
Hello.
This is our commercial division. Service, maintenance, repair.
It's all me.
She does it all right now, 100%. This is Stephanie. She's awesome.
Just
They're just
filming.
filming a little tour. You're going to be on YouTube.
Hooray.
Isn't it great that I gave you so much notice that you knew this was going to happen, so you were totally prepared?
It would have been cool if I would have known to like put makeup on and do my hair, but you know.
Well, here we are.
It's good.
It's au naturel. We are who we are.
Okay, how many employees do you have?
Full-time W-2 employees, almost 30.
30?
Yeah.
And how many of them do come to the office on a regular basis versus right now?
Oh man, right now I think there's only 4.
4? So everybody
They
else
come every
stays
day,
home?
yeah.
Did
There's a
it
couple
affect
people
your
in and out.
productivity, you think? Is it, because I
Oh,
know
absolutely. Well,
it's harder to work from
it's
home.
a dual-sided discussion. Productivity, no. Our ability to produce stuff is still fine.
Yep.
The sales took a steep drop pretty quick.
Okay. But you're still getting pretty good leads, and you know.
We are
still
now.
have-
We had to adjust. We definitely had to adjust because we were primarily door knocking.
Sure.
We were averaging somewhere 90 to 110 organic leads a month, just coming from the website or the phones or whatever.
That's right now, or an average?
That's before.
That's
Before
before.
this, yeah. And those are good leads. You know, the people just call, you know, how much does a shingle cost? I don't count those people, but people who actually want some kind of business done, between 90 and 110 a month was what we were averaging.
Nice.
And that flow has gone down some, and then our door knocking obviously took a big hit, and so our contracts per week in the first 4 weeks of the lockdown dropped by like 50%, and then we had an extra low dip of about, we had 1 week that was about 25% of what it should have been. It was real low, but that was due to market changes, customers being leery of everything, sales guys not really knowing what to do, kind of hanging and waiting back just to see what was going to happen. And then
Everybody's watching news, everybody's
yeah,
looking alert.
So we rallied everybody together, put a lot more effort into our online presence, did paid ads for the first time in a pretty long time, pay-per-click ads, you know, all that stuff that we didn't normally do, and have been able to pick it back up. And then this last Monday, not yesterday, because it's Tuesday, right? Not yesterday, but the last Monday before that, we had our highest volume of leads in one day.
What was that number?
For this office, it was 44 leads in a day in this office that
Nice.
called in and scheduled appointments. So,
Awesome.
well, I'm not doing this for money. You know, people don't really
What do you do it for?
really understand it. I do it to see people succeed. So I took the opportunity to be the owner of the company because I wanted an opportunity to take the men and women around me in my life that I knew and loved. I want to give them an opportunity to experience the success that I have.
So you believe in working with friends and family?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a strategy necessarily, but there are a lot of friends and family that work here.
But it's hard to work with the friends and family.
It can be, certainly, but
What's your secret then?
I guess love is like the driver. That's how you need to.
But
Like,
how do
deal
you
with people.
make relative accountable for
Well,
mistakes?
to be fair,
or-
I don't have any relatives here, so it's
Okay.
basically all friends.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
if you have a friend,
I had my
because-
brother here for a while, and he was great, but
What happened?
he went and started his own little deal. We just decided it was best for him to, like, you know.
See, that's
be the
what I'm
captain
talking
of his own
about. That's
ship,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about. It's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I have like best friends, and I try to motivate them,
Mm-hmm.
bring them to business and stuff. And then if they're not driven, not motivating, they just sooner or later they
Right.
fall off. They can.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I guess I only invited the friends that I knew were already in that category.
Sure.
So I didn't
I see.
open
So-
it up
so you
to
did
any of my
filter them,
friends.
yeah.
Oh yeah. But I would rather, especially in the beginning when I was starting this, I would rather have people around me that I trusted. You know.
Sure.
And it has worked out very well. There's definitely been pros and cons. There's definitely pros and cons. There's no doubt. Some people view it like a sports team, you know, where you can get cut whenever you want. Some people view it just like a business. Some people view it just like a family, you know, and I'm sort of a hybrid of all those. Like, once you're on my team, I'm going to fight for your success as hard as I can. But yeah, there is a point where you're going to get removed, you know. You're going to get fired if you are hurting the environment, hurting people around you, or hurting the business overall. I'm not going to fire you because I don't like you. I'm not going to fire you because you made me mad one time. I'm not going to do that.
We're not making money enough or something.
Right, yeah.
Company first. 90% of you watching our videos without subscription. I don't know what you're waiting for, but you don't want to miss our sick content for roofing industry. Give me one of those, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.